It makes me wonder whether we exist in GBV in this country. And I'm referring to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Everybody knows we exist, we're there. If I have to look at the media now, 10 years back, there was really bad reporting around the LGBTI issues compared to where we are right now. But there's no face around GBV and LGBT unless our people are brutally beaten up or a hate crime is experienced. And I think that is a big problem. And also, the problem there stems from the lack of knowledge that our journalists also have around the difference between sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, and sexual characteristics. Complete different concepts. If I listen to the MDF situation, I look at it as a sexual practice. There's nothing to do with their orientation. It's about self-gratification. It's about any other issues that comes with the uniform and all those professional issues. But I think for me the element thereof and homophobia and transphobia that comes into this country, it's because of the sensationalization around how our sexual conducts are. And I think people do not look at us beyond who we are. Look at us, we all sit in here, and I'm a woman, I'm black, I'm a mother, I have kids. But there's no difference, I'm not being treated differently. But if I'm in a circle where I'm with a group of my queer people, then the stigmatization immediately stems out. So that also plays a critical role on where the editors stamp their interest around queer politics. I remember 2 years ago in the Namibian front page, we had the International Day Against Homophobia, and we did flash mobs. So within those flash mobs, people would kiss at the end of the day. The whole Wenil Park went into a frenzy. We walked over to Gustavok Center, and all the security guards literally picked us up and told us, no, we cannot have so many of you here. It's not even the thinking around that we might come in here for shopping, or we might be doing, but the fact is, we just looked weird. We just looked very different, and I don't want to label it in any sense, but I think that was the greatest fear. And that links for me also to the issue around the security. If the security guard can do that, I have a lot of respect for city police compared to the Namibian police in the way they treat us. City police has so many times and so many occasions gave us recognition of the relationship of the violence that is taking place. And they would literally separate the parties, and one goes with another van and the other one would go. But I think that level of recognition, and that also plays a role in terms of generational difference. City police is young and energized people, besides the grey ones in the top positions. That's a different discussion. Then Namibian police also, they are progressive ones, but it's really difficult by entering with a transgender person into a space and access any form of service when it comes to healthcare. But then when we link that to the media, we're saying to the media, the first thing is the language that needs to be used when it comes to LGBTI people. People think that we're all homosexuals. We're not all homosexuals. Heterosexual people don't realize that within the acronym of LGBT, we have heterosexual people in that acronym. And I think it's the deconstructing of our realities that needs to be advanced. We need to take responsibility of the lack of information that is out there, and also take responsibility to ensure that sensitization engagements take place. But we have a very small community that is sometimes scared themselves to be marginalized in spaces that we will be entering. So there's quite a lot of conflicting issues, but when it comes to violence, for me, in my opinion, it is that we need to be looked at uniformly and not be looked at very different. I had to get a friend of mine who's in Wildfish Bay through the Ombudsman's office. She's transgender, she's sentenced for a year. If the Ombudsman's office was not there, when she was still on trial, the first 4 days she was brutally raped every day.
Sure.
And she was sharing how a few of the guys would use plastic bags as condoms and the others not. And had one of the police officers not know that there's a Linda that they call Linda the Murphy, they called with the police officer themselves, and that's how we got the ombudsman involved. And now she's at least safe and she's in her own cell. And I think about if that can happen to that extent, it says already outside here we're not safe, and we're hoping to build those bridges in order to get transformational change, that we get recognition, because homosexuality is not illegal in this country. Sodomy is being used as a form of us being illegal, but there's nothing in this country that criminalizes us. Our government has passed in 2015 a human rights action plan that is very clear about service provision, including accessing health and judicial systems. But then for us, I think the social gap that comes in there in terms of the linkage of the realities is a big challenge, and that is why it's difficult for us to even seek any form of psychosocial support. That is why well-being and mental health is a huge challenge in our communities. I'll park it right there.
Linda, that's great. Gail, before I give you the mic, I just